Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. Then, most importantly, go over to the Nerdsense channel. Make sure you like their channel, subscribe to their channel, hit the notification bell to get all their notifications. Then go to nerdsense.net, and from there you can go everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere. Because I'm joined by two guys from Nerdsense.
We're here.
What's up, Mike and Sean? How you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Good.
And excited.
It's Friday. We are doing this on a Friday. I've been home from work for about, 45 minutes. So definitely should be drinking a beer by now.
It's beer o'clock, definitely.
Especially on a Friday. So we have another Hot Butcher beer. This is Swirling Flourish with a PH. Flourish. Simcoe, Citra, Nelson. I don't know how to pronounce it. Savin.
I always say Savin.
Hopped. But here's the thing. Plus Phantasm. It's a double IPA. It's 8% ABV. So it doesn't seem to be like one of their 7.5%.
I thought that was interesting too.
And this was canned just over 3 weeks ago.
You have a can
it's
on
going to be a great day.
Mine has nothing on it.
Oh, really? Packaged March 2nd.
Mine's blank.
Oh.
What's yours say, Mike? Oh, Mike has it too.
Same.
Okay. Weird.
So Hot Butcher is wishing Mike and I a great day.
Not me, though.
But not Sean.
No.
But Sean is very useful because Sean is going to explain to us what the heck Phantasm is.
Yeah. So Phantasm is a relatively new kind of. It's not it's not hop cryo necessarily, but it's like a powder, but it's made from Sauvignon Blanc grapes. And there's a few breweries that are using it. The Veil was like one of the first that kind of got it, and from them to like start experimenting with. Hot Butcher is another one. But yeah, it's supposed to give like a. Vale explained it as it was like a fruit bomb and stuff like that, but then they also called it a thiol bomb or however you pronounce that, which apparently is supposed to, thiol is like a more sulfur thing. Like, I'm not sure where you get more fruit from something that smells like sulfur, but the fact that this is 8% and not 7.5%, I wonder if the Phantasm does anything in the fermentation process to where it kind of ups it a little bit. Like that part I didn't see because it just says that it's just derived from Sauv Blanc grapes and it works best in hop forward beers, but they think it could have a kind of a place in other beers. But there's experimenting that needs to be done, and it's out of New Zealand, and we know that New Zealand knows hops, so.
So there's probably going to be a grape white wine characteristic to this beer.
Which at that point, it's going to be hard to discern if we're getting Nelson or if we're getting the Phantasm, or it's just going to be a giant Nelson bomb.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's get them going, guys.
Let's do it.
Definitely a pretty looking beer. Oh, that's this side is clean. I was like, the side I was looking, I'm like, yeah, nice clean glass finally. And then the one I put the camera, not so much clean.
My glass is actually clean today. Shocking. Yeah, it's like a kind of a very bright, in person at least. Mike's looks probably the best. Mike, as usual, always usual. Yeah, Mike looks the best out of what it looks in person. It's very bright orange, sunshine.
Yeah. What Mike's is the closest.
Yeah.
Mine looks way lighter than it is.
Yeah, and mine just looks dark.
About 2 fingers ahead on mine. It's a fairly off-white head, small bubbles.
Very, not very rocky, very kind of smooth. Yeah, I mean, really pretty though.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I'm just glad I have a Mike pour for once.
The last 2 beers we did, I had Mike pours and Mike didn't. It was hilarious, and I was like, how did I not get one this time?
We'll have to release this on April Fool's Day or something because clearly we're messing around. Don't remove your hand from upon your face. All right, let's get an aroma, guys. Let's get a nose on this.
Jesus, that's a powerful nose.
Yeah,
I like this.
it's pungent.
So
away from the can.
I do get some like lemon and orange. So I do get some citrus that way, but I don't think it's just because it's in my mind because of everything we discussed. But I do see that like white wine thing.
100%. If this was like a blind beer, I think I would be like, this is a Nelson beer. It screams Nelson.
And the lemon note in it is kind of because like I'll get different kinds of lemon notes in a beer, and it's sometimes when I drink white wine as well, I'll get a lemon note, and it's like that white wine lemon thing for sure. How about you, Mike?
I mean, you guys have nailed everything. I mean, and I don't know if it's just in my head, but I'm sort of getting like a faint whiff of like sulfuric things. I hope it's just in my head, but I'm
getting a kiss of onion in the nose.
Yeah.
There's something towards the end of as I'm smelling it. I don't know if it's the onion. I don't know if it's the sulfur. I don't know if it's like a little kiss of the alcohol, but there is like a little thing that's not sweet fruitiness. There's this thing at the end. It's not bad. Like it would be like very fruit only. And there's some other thing at the end, which makes me wonder if the taste might have a similar thing.
Yep.
But yeah, it smells great. It does.
It does.
Good taste.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Very soft. Like seriously, one of the softest beers I've had in a long time.
It's extremely soft. And it drinks way lower than its ABV off the bat. I'll say that.
Yep.
I can go first again.
Go.
I don't want to be the rude host, though. It keeps talking first. Well, I guess you didn't mention it being soft. I like the level of bitterness in this. There is a lot of sweet elements. I do like that there is a punch of that. For me, it follows the nose a lot. Like I get that lemon white wine thing for sure. I get some of the orange part of the citrus as well. I think it's really good.
No, I would have to agree. Like it has all the citrus stuff you mentioned. At the end as it finishes, it has this like orangey sweetness, like not just orange, but it has like an extra level of sweetness. And I know in the last like few Hop Butcher reviews I've done, I've said like confectionery sugar sweetness, and it's not that. It's just like this like, yeah, it's this extra bit of sweetness, orangey tangerine sweetness as it finishes off. It's really good. And the Nelson kind of shines like on the white wine. It kind of blends nicely with it all. Then again, I don't know if that's the Nelson. I don't know if that's the Phantasm. I think it's well balanced, but I think when I was reading like the Phantasm stuff and whenever I think of like something like a powdered version of something or extract of something in a sense, that's kind of how I read what Phantasm was when it came to the Sauv Blanc grape stuff. So I think I was also expecting a little bit more in your face. And I'm not mad that it's not that. Like it is very well balanced, but I think I would just, given that there's like that type of powder type stuff, I was expecting something a little bit different. If that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. The aftertaste is dry, but I almost get a little bit of like a tingle. Oh, Bruce is the cutest. A little bit of a like tingling on my tongue. It's interesting. I don't know if it's like particulates that are just kind of like flavor sitting on my tongue or something, but I get a little extra. As time goes on, it goes away more, but it's not like, I'm trying to think of something that makes your tongue tingle. It's not like full on, but just like a little bit of like a peppering of flavor, if that makes sense, or of, hey, pay attention to me. Something's happening, almost kind of like a sensation.
No, that makes sense.
Very soft. It's very soft.
I'm sort of getting almost like vague, like mimosa vibes out of this. I think from the white grape and that sort of like citrus note, just a little softer, but I'm sort of getting similar flavor profile from it.
You know what, Mike? Thank you. That's
yeah. He took everything we said and then condensed it down into a really digestible way. Thanks.
if you have like most people like I don't like beer, I like wine or whatever, and then you're like, okay, do you like mimosas? Like at brunch, if they said yes, this would be a really good beer to be like, well, just try this, just open mind, try this. It's not 100% mimosa, but like it is mimosa vibing, like it is mimosa beerin', yeah.
Like how good would this be on the Sunday morning with breakfast?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
No, but it makes perfect sense. Here we are talking about citrus, talking about white wine. Yeah, duh. Does anyone want to say anything else before I read their tasting notes?
No, I was actually just going to say I'm really curious to see what it is.
All right, so tropical fruit, pleasant pine, white grapes. So we definitely talked about one of those three.
I'd say tropical fruit we said on the kind of the nose, like there was this citrus and
yeah, but technically orange is citrus or tropical fruits.
Yeah.
So I think it's entirely fair.
Piney.
But no one thought maple. No one thought pineapple or mango or.
But I still don't think that either.
No, I agree. I agree. And then the pine, maybe there is like what I think of as like the traditional IPA taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some of that, and that's fair. I don't know in Simcoe. I mean,
yeah, you usually get that piney character from Simcoe. So yeah, I get like if you're going to say the pine as like kind of it finishes and bitters off, then yeah.
It's funny. I don't usually think of pine with Simcoe, although I do know what people are saying when they say that. There's something. It's just a little more astringent.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same way as Cascade has that pininess. It's not the same type of that piney bitterness, So like, it's not that it isn't that. It's just because there are hops that more accurately exemplify that kind of taste note. I don't ever think of that when I think of Simcoe bitterness, but I can see it when people say it,
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's delicious. The video I posted today by Prison City had Simcoe, and it's funny, Mike. I said a lot of the same things you were saying about it. It kind of like it's. I hate to say it's astringent or something because that might make people think a negative, but like Simcoe has that thing where it's kind of like you better pay attention to me. Like this is a different part of the experience, but it works too. Like.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's one of the things that makes this drink like a beer also, like because there are these mimosa vibes, the white wine specifically, the citrus specifically, and then there is that thing. And I think that's part of when I initially said I like the level of bitterness. I think part of that actually is not just bitterness, but that, again, for lack of a better word, like astringency. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, well, especially because I think that, based on like literally like the flavor components, having that sort of that dry astringency in the back. Honestly, it even that is reminiscent of like a white wine. So it's like having a Sauvignon Blanc. Sometimes they have that dry astringency in the back, and it only sort of helps to amplify that kind of experience.
In a perfect world, they would have canned this without the phantasm, and we could like see like what the intensity is differently. Like.
Could you imagine?
I'm curious. Like, I don't know. Not that this needs to be a dissection video of Phantasm, but like, I know they watch the Hot Butcher like sending these beers out and watching and kind of, hearing the thoughtful, reviews and breaking it down. I don't know if I was drinking this blind, if I'd be like, there's something else there, or like, wow, they really like were able to maximize the Nelson in this. I don't know. I don't know if it takes it up a notch from what you could get from just Nelson hops.
Agreed. I don't think I would. There's no way I would like if we drank this. There's no way I don't think I would be like, oh, there's some extra ingredient that's not normal in beer.
Yeah, but it's delicious. So maybe it is adding to the delicious. I don't know, but yeah, it doesn't seem to. It's not obvious that's like upping anything to me anyway.
I think it'd be interesting because like this is super new. Like talking this year and it's only March. Like the articles, if you Google it, there's like one or two articles saying that only a handful of breweries are getting it to start experimenting with the Veil, this one, other half being them. So it's going to be interesting to see if this takes off or if this is more of one of those brewing fad things where they're like, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing different I can think of is that little bit on the extra on the finish that I'm getting. Other than that, it's a pretty normal experience of what I would have in a beer like this that does not have Phantasm.
Looking at the beers that the Veil did and Other Half did, none of them have Nelson in it. So I'd be really curious to try a beer that doesn't have Nelson in it with this.
That
Because
makes
if this is made with Sauvignon Blanc grapes, like it's gonna kind of go with the Nelson. So it'd be interesting to see how this goes with something completely different.
Because we don't know if it's complementing or just getting mixed in and hidden by it. Yeah.
Right.
That'd be cool. Any other thoughts before we sign off, gentlemen?
I'm good.
So again, I mean, I know I said at the beginning, but like check out Nerdsense. It's nerdsense.net. All their stuff's on that website. I'll remember to put a link below in the description box so you can find their YouTube channel very easily from this video. After you're done checking them out, make sure you check me out, Instagram and Untapped. Snow Hype Beer Reviews, both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.